Hey guys, welcome back. It's Silver, this is Transport Fever 2, and I am gaming in the Grove. And this is episode 6. This is essentially our season finale. Mainly, we're finishing off the 1800s and moving into the 1900s. Quite literally, it's October. We're almost there. Last episode, a lot happened. I was actually just going through the episode, editing it. And I was looking through a lot of stuff, and there's, we built this entire new rail yard. We've decorated it. We've got this entire new truck yard here. I do kind of want to take care of this a little bit. Maybe do that a bit. Yeah. Nice and smooth it out. Maybe put some more trees here later. Right now, leave it as is. Nice area to get all this food now delivered into town. Oh, look, and there we are. Another lumber train is arriving. Where's the trains to take the lumber back? Good questions. I also got to see in episode 5 how long the opening was. I made a joke. I don't even know if it was a joke. I think it was just me not being able to tell time. I said essentially that, oh, this has been like 5 minutes. Turns out that 5 minutes comment was about 10 minutes in, and there was still 5 more minutes to go. So, for those who watched episode 5 and saw that entire 15-minute intro of me explaining everything that happened in the failed episode 5s, hey, props to Silver in the past, because goodness gracious, that was intense to listen to. I actually started giggling listening to myself again and hearing all that. That was crazy. I don't know how I did it back then. I don't know how I did that. Today's goal is literally just finish up the year and move into the new year and essentially take everything and push it forward. Right now, I believe both of these are at 100% usage. We're at 96% transport. Shipment is still not going up, which is probably because we need to add a new line bringing more grain in and shipping it out to a new location. So, the deal with that is it needs to go from Worcester, the yard here, to someplace else, or it needs to just get pushed past entirely. So, last episode I kind of explained how I had built this entire rail line all the way down here to the boat, and the boat took stuff all the way up here to the town. Now, at the time, there was nothing that would make that worthwhile. And it wasn't till much later that I realized I probably could have made it worthwhile for at least a freight trip. Have a boat filled with freight, like food, brought up to Raleigh, or other goods up to Clearwater. That would make it worthwhile. So down there it would be all passengers, and up here it would be all freight. Let's do it. Let's just go ahead and do it. Let's suck it up. Suck it up, buttercup. And, do that. Alright, so now we have 3 stations here. Oh dear goodness. Welcome to the 1900s, guys, and the world has opened up. We have buses, we have new ships, we have boxcars, passenger cars, tank cars. Oh dear goodness, the world just opened up, guys. Goodness gracious. Alright, let me finish off this new platform here. And then we'll go start looking into that and seeing if there's anything that we want to swap over. Track 1. Interesting. It doesn't go all the way down like the other ones. Okay. So I've kind of come to Simi because it is now February 2nd, 1900s, and I think it's time that we change our 2 vehicles here and replace them with a bus. All more people, much more reliable, and I have a feeling it's going to work out much better when I reorganize this, which that will be my next goal. But first, we have another town to go to. Or actually, that might be it. Do we have new trolleys? No, we do not. We have the bus. And that was it. I don't think we had any more road vehicles. No. Just the Mac bus. So for the only town that has a bus service still. Alright. Let's reorganize this. Oh, goodness. Alright. And there we are. Hopefully that makes Simi into a profitable bus service. We have 2 buses that are running around this entire town, which, by the way, this town has gotten so much bigger in the time that I haven't been paying attention. Won't lie, looked away, looked back, and suddenly this town was exploding. It's actually really funny because the rail yard is now like in an industrial section of town, so it really looks like it fits. But okay. Okay, here's hoping that all works out. That should. We might actually start seeing more passengers get on our bus service here. And if that's true, then we'll start using it more. So I went in and I ordered the trains, but the first thing I wanted to make sure of is after I got everything set up for the new lines, I wanted to see if there was going to be food gathering on the platform. And lo and behold, there is. So, pausing the time, what's going to happen is we're going to have 2 trains come from up here. Train 1 is going to pick up food here at this station and deliver it over here to the port. The port will then have a boat that will pick up the food, bring it over to the rally. Delivering the food, picking up passengers. Passengers will be brought down here to Clearwater, then passengers will be brought back to Raleigh. The empty boat will then come down here to Clearwater, pick up food, and then go back. Simple enough, nothing too crazy there. The food train will be coming straight from Winchester to the yard, delivering food back and forth, filling up once again this platform over here on the side with more food. Wait. Why am I doing that? I feel silly. I feel silly. Why did I do any of that? You know, you ever get ahead of yourself, you're just in your mind and you're going, that sounds like a great idea. And then you realize you didn't need to do any of that. Yeah, I know there is. I need to go change that. So I realized as I'm doing all this, there's already a food line that comes here. There's already a food line that does this. All of this. So we're going to change this train over to food line 2. And we'll start testing out having more trains on food line 2. And food line 3 we'll go ahead and delete because didn't need that. And because of that, we'll go ahead and delete all this. So what's going to happen now is the food train will be able to take more food because it's now providing to another line there. It's no longer just delivering it to the town here in Worcester. It's now also delivering food to then be re-delivered. bright side is it'll allow us to experiment with these new larger boxcars. So I've been trying to hold off on this for a while now. I just went ahead and double tracked the bridge here because we just need a double track. It's just not having a double track is causing more issues than it's worth to not just double track it at this point. So I've went ahead, doubled up the track across the bridge here, and hopefully that will help sort some things out. Hopefully, that's really the hope. 32, 27. This is going to dump off people, but it's going to then keep going down the river, actually. Oh, look, you can see, like, the little gangplanks right there to let people on and off the boats. Oh, everybody. Thank you for the ride on the Klondike. Please come again another time. Honestly, I wish there was more stern wheelers in this game because I freaking love these. Ooh! Look at that caboose. That's a red caboose. That is a red caboose if I've ever seen one. Alright. Here we are, gonna see how much this train gets. Not bad. It's most of the platform here. Okay. Alright, let's see if you can keep up the speed and everything. The extra weight of all these cars on it. Alright, the first food train has arrived from the new boxcars. And Looks like it's still mostly being delivered over to there instead of to the train line. I'm hoping this train brings some food, because my goal was to get food to Raleigh. But if it won't even let me use a circumventing train system, it even comes all the way up here to get food here, I don't know what to tell you. So the food line was a failure. Even though this was a really good idea, never once actually ended up working. So I'm gonna go ahead and just get rid of this again. I think it's time to finally give our locomotives a nice 10-wheeler. Locomotives are nice passenger trains, a 10-wheeler. Just so it's a little bit faster. As well as so it can better fit the next cars that we're about to give it. There she is, guys. I went ahead and replaced my first passenger train. The new 10-wheeler and the blue collar, as well as all the passenger cars. It's a little bit pushed together, I think, because the station a bit, but when it starts moving again, I think it'll fix itself out. How I feel about the window doors, but you know, the rest of it's interesting. I like it. And there goes that freight train, flying by, heading straight for the yard. Hopefully that will start making things a bit more smoother. And oh, look at her go. That makes me really happy. 50 miles per hour, pulling into the station. I don't think we're going to need passenger service as much as we did before. Like, not as in we need to like stop it, but I think going forward I might need to rework some things, because I have a train here picking up 80 passengers a trip, and we are definitely not doing that right now. So I actually tried out the Pennsylvania one. So the Pennsylvania car, you cannot retexture. If you retexture, it essentially gives you this texture on them. Anyway, so I just went ahead and left these as is. 4 cars on the 2 cars. We're going to actually take the other train, and after it arrives, we're going to probably turn it down to 2 cars as well. Just because 80 per train is not needed yet. We're not there yet with any of the towns, I don't think. With the new decade, I've started working on replacing these locomotives, the freight trains, with the new cars. Giving the freight train over here for the grain a new black locomotive, changing out all these cars that were on here. I think they work much better now. With all these different colors and stuff. Looks much more realistic and, you know, kind of nice. Just gotta wait for it to fully fill up. Then we're gonna do it to the other train as it heads back here. That's always so cool to watch. I'm not gonna lie. That's really cool to watch. Still thinking about adding that third track here because the third track is going to essentially just tie into a line going this way, but we'll have to wait and see. Ooh, look at those new cars. And look, with the new cars, it now fits within this within the section. Yeah, we're pretty much just in a transition period now from the old cars to the new cars. Just slowly moving over. Alright, I know I said it was a failure, and I know I said we had to go back to the drawing board, but I think I've gone to the drawing board and figured out what's wrong. I think it has something to do with video game code. So, I noticed in other experiments that I've done since recording the first half of the episode, is that when you have a mixed platform like this and a mixed transport device, you have to tell it to unload freight first, then load passenger. If you just tell it to unload and then reload, and you don't tell it what to unload or even what to load, it doesn't always know what to do. So what I'm planning to do is actually, instead of having this be one giant line, I'm going to leave this. And I'm instead going to make a freight line exclusively from here to here, delivering food. That way this town can get food. It's also how it's going to get fuel when we get that. But, for now, let's get that idea on the road. Alright, putting the ship on that line. Clearwater food line. Oh, I need to make a bigger dock. I made a mistake. What was that? Alright, and now I've got that little area set up, so let's go ahead and get them on the food line. And let's see, do I still have the rail line set up for bringing food over here? I don't think I do. I think it's just that one, so I'll have to reset up a new rail line to bring food over this way. But that's okay. So now we have a line, but now I have a need for a train. So I'm checking out and seeing, do I have any food trains that I can spare? Oh! I've got it still here! Nice! Alright, I've got a train. I've got a train, I've got a line. Now I just need to, get food. I'm really wanting a boat line to just work finally. That's all I want. So while we let that run for a bit, let's actually see about, I don't know, extending the line here. We're getting to the era where I really love railroads because it's like you get the bigger locomotives, the longer trains, and it's really getting interesting. And I think one of our big projects now should be absolutely getting the track up and over this mountain. Now kind of begins the fun part, is the whole thing of dealing with Appalachian Mountains and dealing with these kind of large hills is that, you know, it's not cost effective to always build a tunnel. And sometimes you just need to, like, go up the hill. So you have to make cuts. You have to, like, find other ways. And I don't want to, like, have my trains, like, struggling to get up hills. So I'm trying to give it a nice, gentle slope up. Like, even looking at this, like, valley here, the valley itself is already increasing in height as our train is going up in height. Like, it's weird to think, but these mountains, they roll. If we can get up to about here, I think we can go through that mountain right there. I think there's a way to, like, get across there. So we just gotta keep slowly progressing up the hill. And you gotta watch your curves and everything, because you gotta make sure that you're not, you know, going too sharp, but also you can't really not. So the speed's not gonna be the fastest through here, but you know, I'm not expecting to drive Shinkansen, oh, goodness gracious. Shinkansen through here. This is going to be an area where I think trying to make the curve is going to be like, yeah, 40. I might be able to do it. I think I realized what was wrong. I started looking at the building and I was like, wait a minute, I wonder if having a freight cargo exit is needed for a freight line to have here. Because I was still having the same issue as before. So we're going to see if that works now, because it actively said that the food processing plant wants to deliver here. So that is actively a thing it wants to do. So, yeah. I also went ahead and did some, like, changing that up to, like, gravel, so there's not grass just sticking up everywhere here. Overall, it's really cool seeing people come off the boat, but at the same time, like, yeah, the whole reason I want this over here is freight, money, food, boost the town, you know, fun stuff. Yeah. Gonna have to wait and see how that goes, because, yeah, there's nothing being brought over right now. Fingers crossed. I really hope. Boy. I'm an idiot. So, you may have noticed there's new 2 icons here. Yeah. Weird. I wonder why. There we are. So, turns out you have to actively set docks for the docks. So, I had a dock, but it wasn't a dock because it wasn't a real dock, because it's a dock. It made more sense in my mind. No! So, now that that's done... Now, this should work, technically. All theories point to this should now work. We'll see. And here's how I can tell it's working. Right there, Westminster Food Processing Factory. 9 to Raleigh. Raleigh actively has a load number now for food heading that way. So that means, slowly but surely, the station's going to start delivering food to the boat, which will then take it over here. It's a bit of a roundabout way, but it's going to work. So now we have a new shipment area to a 3rd city. Now I need to start really looking at possibly, you know, upgrading my infrastructure. I think I'm going to use a truck here And we'll deliver this over to here and train this all over to there. I think. We'll see. That's what I'm thinking. It should work. So, we're finally getting that tunnel that I was talking about. Trying not to get too far into it, but at the same time, we needed to get over here to do this, because it just takes us too far down this way if I just keep going along. So, to get across, we're going to have to do this. I had wanted to cross right about there, but it's too deep. It's a very long tunnel. It's a very expensive tunnel. I don't understand why. So maybe I can do a roundabout and cross through here and make a large horseshoe to go down and around. We'll see. I originally came into building this line expecting there to be fewer tunnels, but now there seems to be more tunnels than I originally envisioned. But the good news is I know of an easy access to an oil well. So, interesting. Alright. Gonna go and check on that food line and a few other things. So I don't know how this works exactly. It looks like what needs to happen is... the train from the food needs to go up and deliver it. Sorry, there's a new Atlantic. I got an Atlantic. Oh no. I got a new locomotive. What should I put it... what should I put it on? What line should I do it on? Oh no! So many questions. Okay. Fudge. I'm gonna go think about that. And I'm gonna give you some lovely cinematic shots while I do that. So I figured it out, because I had known they had last year done an update that made timetables kind of an ingraded thing. Like, there's another mod that actually does it, like, more in depth, but they just kind of gave it, like, a simple one. And it's this. The minimum and the max stop time. So I've went ahead and changed it for all my passenger trains. Now I have a 70-second wait time, which means they wait 1:10 before leaving the station. That way they're not on top of each other like they are right now. Hopefully that means passenger trains will also have a little bit of a gap, so passengers can build up. This is slightly concerning, because I needed to get across the road here, and I was like, cool! Built my railroad crossing, and then I realized I have this large hill here that leads straight down into a crossing. Funny and scary note, that is a real thing I have actively seen in West Virginia. Like... roads that lead downhill into a crossing. It's dangerous, but it's there. That actively caused a wreck once because a truck lost control and I believe it crashed into the side of a tourist train. I believe it was the Tiger Flyer had that wreck a few years ago with that. And yeah, that's a scary thing. Yeah. But we need to figure a way to get over this mountain now, because Independence is now back that way. So, we need to get the other way on this mountain range. So far, we've just been going up. Slowly. I thought that might be for the better, but now I'm starting to wonder. I almost think we should just go over and build a station at Milwaukee instead. We've already accidentally got here. Why not? Build a station at Milwaukee. And then, what I can do is... we can build a split track that goes off back to Independence and Ann Arbor. That's what we'll do. It was never my intention to come to Milwaukee. But we came to Milwaukee. So food started being delivered here, but the issue is the platform was too short, so I had to extend it by 2. I mean, good news is, food's being delivered here. Food is now ready to be taken onto a train and delivered to the boat for rally. That's a little weird watching. Yeah, you can see it right here. There's the food. There's the food. Alright. Gotta keep hoping these trains keep coming in and keep bringing everything in. Also, we'll see about maybe changing this up come next update, but we'll see. Anyway. Oh man, gonna move on and like see some more of those cinematics. No, let's do it. Let's absolutely like. And there's our Milwaukee station. Went ahead and removed the ones in the middle because it wasn't really needed. And I went ahead and used more of this American station. But I also added one over here to kind of make the station feel a bit more unique. I wish there was more American-styled stations on the workshop, but I haven't found them yet. So, if there are, I hopefully will find them soon. Anyway, for this station, I wanted to be a bit more of a through station. So we have 2 passenger tracks on the outside edges. And then right here in the middle is going to be a passing track for the freight. So it'll come into the station as a 4-track, and then we'll go back to being a 2-track afterwards, probably. After this, I think the next journey north is literally trying to find a way through this range to LA. And then working over to Cincinnati and West City, maybe. We'll see. What I do know is that now we also have to work backwards and work over to Independence. So I'm going to quickly connect it by direct, and we'll see about that. So I went and took a look at the Atlantic. So I'm going to go ahead and bring you over here with me. This Atlantic, powerful, but tractive effort is not its thing. So I'm thinking we put the Atlantic on the passenger trains for right now. It'll speed them up, absolutely, but it will also kind of allow us to maybe take these more horsepower, the tractive effort engines, and put them on the freight. Kind of replace some of the mobiles with the 10-wheelers, if there are any mobiles remaining. Like, that's kind of the thing we're getting down to, is what's remaining from our old roster that we need to replace. So yeah, gonna replace those passenger engines with these. So let's see what they look like. So I figured out what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna take the Atlantics, put them on the passenger service, and take the 10-wheelers and put them on a logging service. And that should help us kind of balance out some things. Because I don't really feel the need to put them on the lines because I've already got everything up to mobiles at least. So at least with putting the 10-wheelers on the logging line, you know, that's another logging camp. And if I can, I'll extend the line over here, and I'll also get this. So put the other 10-wheeler on this. You know, kind of work on multiple different things. Get the 10-wheelers moved out to different areas, and get these Atlantics moved in. I think that's what we're going to do now. We finally did it. The entire goal of this series was to get here, so, you know, we're here. Turns out I had forgot to take these 10-wheelers off the passenger line, so they've already been out here in the wild, just locomotives on the line. So I'm now sending it over with some state cards to go join the logging line. Yeah. Doing a Caboose and everything. So weird to see the 10-wheeler heading that way. That's just gonna go left here. So cool. That's so cool. Alright. Well. Other than that, we have a new passenger service that's mostly in effect. 2 Atlantics, 1 Atlantic left to go. And I have now a 10-wheeler just sitting back in a shed back there. So, fun times. Yeah. Also, the passenger service seems to be now in effect with the 70 seconds between each train leaving the station. So, hopefully that puts it in a good distance between. With some little bit of room for, like, this, where there's, like, freight services that are in the way. The good thing is the passenger service is, in fact, increasing. In fact, I probably should start looking to expand my passenger service some. Because I think each of the stations now has enough that each train could have 3 cars. And that one's the only one that seems to be a little bit slow is the Simi Valley branch, but that's how it has always been. So, okay. Look at it! It just books it! That Atlantic is like powerhousing around this line. Like, let's see, how fast is it going? It's just booking. She is flying. Alright. Let's see how our other trains are. Because I have one more Atlantic to put on. And then all the Atlantics, all the 10-wheelers will be switched up for Atlantics on this line. And there it is. The last 10-wheeler is now an Atlantic. All the 10-wheelers are now either sent to their new jobs or are waiting in a shed for their new orders. I think I'm going to... Ooh, I didn't notice there was a guy in there. There's actively someone sitting in the caboose. Didn't know that was a thing. Is that like because I have it hooked up to a passenger train? Do the other cabooses have that? I now need to know. I need to know. Can you tell me? Yep, it's in each of them. So yeah, the cabooses just have a person inside. That's cool. That's cool. They actually have a conductor. I did not notice that before. So, I realized something. This lovely logging train here is using the old car. It's not been changed over to the new car. It's actually got the old caboose. So, keep up with demand, I'm gonna have to change it over. Like, I don't know why it wasn't done earlier. I know I was slowly doing a transition, but I think it's time to do the transition. So we're just gonna stop this and get this fixed up. As you can see, it's been done. I've changed from that entire train to the newer stock with the new Caboose. I'm going to go around and see if there's any of those old stock left, and it's not, I'm going to remove it from the rest of them. Early 1902, and things are changing. Yes, there are some still being used. They're still being used. Moment of truth. Are we using the old hoppers anywhere? And if so, I should probably change them. Oh, I found it. Yeah, I still have a full train with the old hoppers. Oh, man. I am having a weird moment where I'm like, yeah, things have not been fully changed over. I'm still running a railroad with a mix of old and new stock. So, wait a minute. My mind did a thing. Takes goods and fuel. And fuel. So what I need is a track that swaps the train back. We're gonna make a yard here. Oh boy, this is gonna be fun. I might have to rework some of this to extend it out, but because what we're going to do is for this, it's done. The line now goes all the way to Milwaukee. Comes back through Worcester on the way back by. Drops off passengers that's grabbed from Milwaukee. Should probably upgrade some of my passenger trains to 3 cars. So while this one's here, when we're upgraded. There we are. I'm going to change on some of the track so it's normal speed coming out and then slows down at the station itself. That way it's not just slow the entire way through. Here, we're going to fix this one up. Give it another Pullman. Look, it's also the right color. Perfect. passengers. I think it's only going to go up to like the max that the other train cars had. Or it might be because there's no more passengers here. That might be a possibility too. So, a whole lot of things are about to happen. 1, we're about to start having a passenger service off the Milwaukee. 2, I'm about to have my food train finally pick up food from Worcester to take over to the boat to take the rally. Like, the train's here. The train's here, waiting for a clear track into Worcester Yard to pick up the food. That's all that's remaining. Even the lumber train here has picked up as much lumber as it can, so that will not affect the food train at this point. That's pretty awesome. As soon as it has a clear track out, we'll be able to send this one in. I still haven't upgraded a lot of my stuff. It's 1903, so it's been a bit of time since, you know, we turned over into the new century. But I'm not exactly upset. A lot has happened. We've started changing over our passenger to the... Well, we did change over our locomotives to the Atlantic for the passenger service. We've still got an entire fleet of moguls and 10-wheelers, but they're being put to use in different situations. We've built a rail line all the way up to Milwaukee, and I've even started a new yard in Milwaukee. So, a lot has been done. And that's just not all that's been done. This episode, this entire series was about progressing building a railroad from the early 1800s up until, you know, the early 20th century. That isn't to say that this series is over. No, far from it. But we're getting to the point of what I originally envisioned when I envisioned doing this series. I'd envisioned this series starting from nothing and working my way up through the small little locomotives of the the late 1800s and working my way up into the larger things. We're at the turn of that. We are getting the moguls, the Atlantics, the Mikados are coming up, the Pacifics. We're getting into the bigger and bigger locomotives that I always envisioned, like, having to do these cinematic shots for, and like working with a railroad that's and a transportation company that's wide. I originally envisioned this mostly being more about the trains, but now we've kind of expanded into a multi-territory area. The railroad's important, yes, it's our main lifeblood, but we've got these very successful trolley and bus systems throughout these two towns. We have a very successful truck system through various different industries, and I'm about to turn a very good profit with a boat. So we're going to have a river system at our beck and call. And just overall, it seems like we are slowly progressing into a major transportation company, something that can be rivaled. Well, can't be rivaled, I guess, is what I meant to say. But overall, it just seems very interesting what we are slowly working our way up into. There it is. The food train finally picking up food for the first time in how many years? Let's see. That's a lot of time. It's got a lot of running costs to catch back up on, but you know, if it starts picking up food like it's supposed to, I don't think it's going to be much of an issue. Same for the boat. You know, getting rally built up is going to be nice. Alright, there we are, pulling in. And loading up. It's a full train. Well, mostly full train. Took all the food that was left here for it. So now it's going to go over to the boat, deliver it there. The boat's going to pick it up, and the boat will take it all the way over to Raleigh. It's a slow progress, but it's good to see it finally happening. So the Milwaukee yard is a bit big. I'm planning to do a full thing here with the two platforms, with one side being unload, the other side being load, for getting trains in and out. But yeah, I am going to try and make it 11 spots large, so it's going to go down for a little bit longer. Those outer two rails you may notice are looking different than the ones that are inside. This is going to be our main line. It's going to be where we're going to have the passenger trains and trains that are just passing by go through. Where everything on the inside is going to be more kind of for the yard. Essentially, these three tracks are just going to be filled with decoration trains, while the two over here are going to be for use of unloading and loading. So, overall, I think I've got a lovely yard here. I think I've got a nice little, cut here that leads back to the yard. And then it comes out and you can see there's the station. Not too far from the main station, but, far enough. So, I have some closing thoughts I want to say, mostly about what's coming up. But for now, let's watch some nice cinematics to close out the episode of the first passenger train making its way up to Milwaukee. Alright, and it's finally arrived. The first passenger train to Milwaukee. Hope you enjoyed some of those cinematics. They were really fun to film. And just absolutely stunning to see. Like, my goodness. And there it goes. Back to Worcester. There's another passenger train actually on the way, so it'll be passing another one. But, yeah. I don't think many people got off. I had 90 people coming up this way, now there's only like 70 on the train. It's okay. I think the main issue is I don't have a road built up to it, I just realized. So, I'm going to get on that and then we'll wrap this all up. There we are. Now it's connected up in town. Only a tiny bit of town, but connected! So, whenever the next episode is, we'll probably be focusing more on getting this town connected up to this railroad and, you know, how people join into the town. But for now, I think it's time for us to sit down and discuss what this is. If you've made it this far into the video, congratulations. This is my Season 1 finale. Yeah! Cool. Other than the mod showcase, I am going to do another one of those showcases where I show off the progress we've made throughout the entire series, which has been insane. I'm really pleased with this series from my enjoyment standpoint. I don't know if a lot of people have enjoyed it. I've only seen a bit of how it's doing right now. My hope is y'all enjoy it too. It's been a fun kind of thing to experiment with. Overall, I think this series will most likely come back. It will not be back for Season 2, though. Season 2's plan has been made, and it is set in stone. So, Transport Fever, sadly, well, we'll discuss more of that in a few days. But just know, it will be back. So, with that said, thank you all for watching. Seriously, thank you from the bottom of my heart. This series has been fun. I can't wait to see you when this comes back. And I can't wait to play more Transport Fever with the new update that's coming up. Supposedly, that's going to make things a bit more interesting with our stations. So, can't wait to start that. Yeah. And just, I feel like it's, I feel like I just need to, once again, really say thank you to everyone who watches these series on YouTube. You have all made my face light up in excitement at seeing the amount of people that are coming out and watching this series each week. Yeah. Anyway. Yeah, Transport Fever 2. We've made it from the early 1800s up until it's 1903 now, and we're only a few months away from 1904, and there was a whole lot more mods this time than I have to kind of show off in the showcase, so, you know, go watch that, go see what mods were used in this, go support the mod developers, you know. The modding is what makes this game so brilliant, and also now the dev support. The dev support has also been kind of fantastic for post-launch, so I'm really excited to see where the developers take it. I'm excited to see where the modders take it. I'm just excited overall for Transport Fever 2's future. But this is where episode 6 ends. So once again, thank you all for watching. I'm Silver. This has been Gaming in the Grove. You have been watching the Appalachian series. I think it's called the Appalachian Hills. Is what I ended up calling it. I can't wait to get back to this. Till next time, guys. See ya.